What's up guys, welcome back to the most underrated channel on YouTube. Today I'm going to go through a bit of a longer video, and one of the things I wanted to talk about is leaving behind some of these childish beliefs that I think a lot of people, they don't end up leaving behind because, I don't know, people don't really think about it, or it just sounds really cool to say. And one of the ones that I put in the title of the video was, I don't care what anyone else thinks about me. You constantly hear people saying this from any age when they're maybe in their teens and they start to hear it, or maybe you're a bit older and you're in your 20s and you think, yeah, I'm out of school, I don't care what anyone thinks about me. So this is a very childish belief and it shows very little insight. I think when people say it, what they're trying to communicate is that they used to have a very self-centered view, and they used to be very self-absorbed about what everyone else used to think about them, which is very common in school, in primary school, secondary school, maybe even, I mean, you know, if you when you leave school, you see that in jobs and stuff, it doesn't really change until people get a bit older, and that's when you start to see this. But, you know, I think what they're trying to say is, I'm going to try and give less importance to what other people think and start focusing on what I care about. And I think that's a very commendable attitude, but I think at its core, you know, I don't care what anyone else thinks about me. It's very, you know, like I said, it's very simplistic, okay? So for example, it's very easy for me to say, you know, I don't really hold, you know, I'm not really going to let other people's opinions affect me, especially when I make a decision. So for example, you know, my books, or, you know, any business decisions I make. However, I do, number one, really value people's input. So, you know, for example, if somebody is more artistic than me, they're more experienced in cover designs or something like that, and they say, you know, the colour scheme, it's not very good, it's not very eye-catching. Well, now I do get what they think because it's actually very useful to me. So that's one example where this belief system of I don't care what anyone else thinks of me is very limited. The other thing as well is you have to think that everything in life, basically, if I read a really good book once, it was called The Courage to Be Disliked. I always recommend it. And one of the quotes that really stuck with me was, all personal problems in life can be boiled down to interpersonal problems, okay? So usually when you're stressed, or, you know, usually when something's affected you, it does tend to have, you know, it does involve your interactions or relationship with somebody else. And so basically what this was teaching me was that actually a lot of things that you do want to do in life, okay, so for example, I always talk about those things that we think makes us happy. So getting a better body, you know, improving your financial status, getting a better job, improving your income, starting a goal, starting a business, all of these things that people want to do, that I want to do, that I wanted to do whenever you wanted to do, the fact that you're watching this on this channel. So all of these things, you are going to heavily rely, you're not going to heavily rely on them necessarily if you think you're going to be an independent business owner, but at some point or another you're going to realize you're going to have to ask people things. If you're a business, you're going to have to sell people things. Even if you're a digital business, you're going to have to engage with people through digital posts. You're going to have some understanding of interpersonal relationships, how to catch people's attention. And so you're going to realize that actually you're not necessarily going to be impacted if people, you know, say, oh, I hate that guy, but you are going to realize that actually I do care about how people think about me, in the sense that, you know, let's say for example this video, okay, you probably wouldn't watch this if you didn't think, okay, this person has something to say that I don't know, or it's going to be very useful to me in some way. So people who create content, people who want you to watch their videos, they usually want to be perceived as entertaining, intelligent, charismatic, any of the above. It could be anything really, it depends on the type of content. But my point is, I don't really care what anyone thinks about me. Usually, like I said, it could reflect that, you know, that change in someone's mindset, but usually what it reflects is that that person really does care about what they think about, what other people think about, and they just want to be seen as that person who is really, you know, like a rebel, really against the system. Yeah, I don't care what anyone thinks about you. If that's the case, why are you telling us? If you didn't care, you wouldn't really tell anybody. So just be careful next time you catch yourself thinking that, because like I said, it shows very limited insight, and that's not something you want to do. And the other childish belief that I think people need to just get out of the habit of saying is, you know, fake people and fake friends. So 100% disclaimer before I go into this point and elaborate more. There are definitely people who will not believe in you, will not think anything of you, and, you know, they'll disappear at the first sign of trouble. They'll want to take advantage of you. Bad people definitely do exist. But normally, you know, you go through, like I said, this childish mindset when you're in school. Everyone's around you all the time. Your friends are always there. You come back home to your family. You know, when you start living by yourself, when you start moving out, when bad things start happening, and you go, oh, I suddenly don't have the same amount of company as I used to. Oh, no one's my real friend. I don't have any friends. Everybody's a fake friend. all of this mentality, all it shows is that, again, you're very inexperienced and you have a very limited insight, because, like I said, when you get a bit older, you realise that actually people have things going on in their life all the time. Nobody can possibly be there with you all the time, okay? And that's something I'm going to talk about in future videos, particularly relationship advice and things like that. Nobody can be there with you all the time. No, for somebody physically can't drag you through every single day, every single obstacle in your life, okay? You have to start taking some responsibility. And so when you kind of leave that school, those safety frameworks like that school or that environment or that job, or where people are always constantly surrounding you, and then when you realise that, oh, actually I don't have as much people around me as I used to, oh, everyone's fake. It's usually not that. It's usually because people have got things going on, you've got things going on. Eventually you'll get to a point where actually it's going to hurt the first time it happens, when you realise, oh, I actually wasn't there for someone as much as I should have been. And then obviously you'll feel bad about it, but then eventually you'll realise, oh, I actually couldn't have been there, I've got my own thing going on. And then you realise, okay, well, actually very few people are actually as fake as they seem, or as fake as you once thought them to be. But also, yes, you do have to be very careful of those opportunistic people who just want to take advantage of you and run away as soon as possible. So I do have to leave that in there, because even if it's not the majority of people, you have to be careful of the chance when it is that person, because you don't want to be taken advantage of. It's a good lesson to have in life, and so it's really good that it happens earlier on in life in, like I said, a controlled environment like school or something like that. But you don't really want it happening later on in life with bigger risks and bigger stakes. So those are two beliefs that I think are really childish. So just to go over them again, I don't care what anyone else thinks about me, and everyone's a fake friend, I have no real friends, okay? So like I said, those are two childish beliefs that I think you have to start letting go of. You have to start doing some more reflection and self-actualization. And if you need any help with those, check out my other videos. I go into a lot of detail about some great methods to conquer those problems. So hope you guys enjoyed that video. Take care, peace out, follow for more amazing content, and as always, master your feelings, master yourself.